The alarm clock screamed. Chakra hit it. Hard. She didn't want to wake up, didn't want to face the day. The mirror reflected back a stranger. Her eyes were puffy, her hair a mess. Too thin, too tall, too different. Getting dressed felt like a chore. Jeans too tight, shirt too loose. Nothing felt right. Nothing looked right. A constant battle with her own reflection. A battle she was already losing. She hated this feeling. This emptiness. This feeling of being invisible, unworthy, a nobody. But it was easier to disappear than to be seen and judged. The walk to school was a trial, each step heavy with dread. Whispers followed her. Laughter echoed in her ears. They didn't even try to hide it anymore. The stares, the snickers. She kept her head down, focused on putting one foot in front of the other. Survival mode. Just blend in. Don't draw attention. But invisibility was an illusion. They saw her, they always did. The school doors loomed ahead, a prison gate, trapping her in a cage of judgment and cruelty. Another day, another performance. The mask was firmly in place. The cafeteria was a battlefield. Noise and chaos, a sea of indifferent faces. All turned their backs on her. Except for some, their eyes held something darker. Malice. She was their target. Lunch was a lonely ordeal. A solitary confinement in a bustling room. The food tasted like ash. Each bite was a struggle. The lump in her throat wouldn't disappear. Fear had a way of suffocating her. Then a shadow loomed over her table. A new face. A new kid. He smiled, a genuine smile. She looked away, wary. Could this be different? His name was Stiles. He was different. He didn't flinch at her silence. He didn't pry. He just talked. About his old school, about his dog, about nothing and everything. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen, heard. He listened to her, really listened. He didn't judge. He didn't offer empty platitudes. He just understood. Stiles became her anchor, a lifeline in a sea of indifference. They ate lunch together every day. They talked. They laughed. He made her feel normal, almost happy. Stiles was more than just a friend. He was a confidant, a therapist, a brother. She told him everything, about the bullying, about her insecurities, about the crushing weight of her loneliness. He listened without judgment. He offered advice without condescension. He made her feel brave, strong, capable of anything. He saw something in her that she couldn't see in herself. For the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to hope. Maybe things were finally changing. Maybe she wasn't so alone after all. Maybe, just maybe, she could be happy. Section 6. Trust and Vulnerability. She trusted Stiles, completely. He was her rock, her safe space. She told him her deepest secrets, the ones she kept hidden from the world, the ones that haunted her at night. She showed him her poetry, her most vulnerable self. Her words were her shield, her armor, her way of making sense of the chaos in her head. He read them with a reverence that took her breath away. He understood her pain. Her words resonated with him. He saw the beauty in her darkness, the strength in her vulnerability. He made her feel safe, seen, loved. Section 7. The Cruel Prank. It began quietly, a whispered rumor, a strange look, a cold shoulder. People started acting strange around her, distant, afraid. She tried to ignore it. She thought it was all in her head. But the whispers grew louder, the stares more intense, the laughter more cruel. A knot of dread formed in her stomach. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Then she saw it, pinned to her locker, her poetry, her words, twisted, mocked, splashed across a crude drawing of her. Tears welled up in her eyes. This wasn't a prank. This was bullying. Section 8. Public Humiliation and Betrayal. The hallway spun. Laughter echoed in her ears, a cruel reminder of her isolation. She felt a hand on her shoulder, a touch that once brought comfort. Stiles. His face was pale, mirroring her own despair. His eyes filled with a mixture of pity and something else, a silent confession. Guilt? He knew. He had to know. He was part of it. He was the only one who had seen her poems, her deepest thoughts. Her heart shattered into a million pieces, each one a fragment of her trust. Betrayal cut deeper than any blade. He wasn't her savior. He was her tormentor. The laughter grew louder, a symphony of her suffering. The walls seemed to be closing in. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. She just ran, tears blurring her vision. Ran as fast as she could, away from the laughter, away from the betrayal, away from the pain, hoping to escape the shadows of bullying. Section 9. Despair's grip. She ran until she couldn't run anymore. Collapsing onto a park bench, she let the tears flow freely. Sobs racked her body. The pain was unbearable. The betrayal too deep. Trust was a fragile thing, broken so easily. She had opened her heart, bared her soul, and he had crushed it, just like everyone else. She was alone, truly alone. The world lost its color. Everything seemed gray, dull, hopeless. The laughter still echoed in her ears, a constant reminder of his betrayal, her own personal hell, and she was trapped inside. The bullying had left scars too deep to heal. In the dimly lit sanctuary of her bedroom, Chakra sits with the weight of the world pressing down on her shoulders. The room, shrouded in shadows, mirrors the darkness that has taken root in her heart. She clutches a photo of her and Stiles, the edges worn from countless moments of bittersweet reverie. Tears stream down her face, each drop a testament to the pain and betrayal she feels. As the sorrowful, haunting music fills the air, Chakra reflects on the events that transpired. The laughter, the moments of trust, the cruel prank, and the public humiliation all replay in her mind like a relentless, torturous loop. She can't escape the memories, nor the deep sense of loss that accompanies them. Yet in this moment of despair, she walks towards her closet, a place that now seems like a final refuge. She looks at the rope hanging inside, a symbol of her ultimate surrender. The journey ahead feels too arduous, and she is ready to surrender to the darkness. The photo in her hand, once a symbol of betrayal, now serves as a final reminder of her pain and the lessons she couldn't carry forward. In this room, shrouded in sorrow, Chakra finds a glimmer of resolve to end her suffering. The shadows may be deep, but they will soon extinguish the light within her.